Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining me today. What I wanted to do today is just show you and do a short demonstration and short video and breakdown of downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Savasana. So this posture is so commonly used within yoga classes. It'd be quite hard to find a class where you won't be doing at least one downward facing dog. So it's a nice one for me to be able to break down, go through every single attention to detail, let you know a little bit about the benefits of this posture. It's a great one to be able to relieve yourself from any back pain. It helps build strength in your arms, helps warm up and wake up and stretch the backs of your legs, so the hamstrings, your glutes, and also lengthening out your spine. So what we'll do is we'll just do a really short warm up in cat-cow just to help wake up the spine, and then we'll go straight into our downward facing dog. I'll talk to you a little bit about some do's and don'ts that you want to be making sure that you're avoiding when in this posture, because what tends to happen sometimes when you first attempt, especially if you're new to this practice, is when you straighten your legs and send your hips up, is you have that temptation to bring the heels straight down towards your mat, but then what happens is the back then rounds, and we want to always try avoid rounding the back because we want to lengthen out the spine and effectively create an upside down V shape with our body. So we want to keep that energy flowing from our hands all the way up to the hips and then the hips down towards the heels. So we'll start off in a tabletop position. So if you bring yourself onto your hands and knees in the middle of your mat, straight away, make sure your hands are below your shoulders, really spreading those fingertips as far apart as you can so you're rooting down through the knuckles and the fingertips. Be mindful of not hyperextending the elbows, so you don't want the elbows to lock forwards, you want them to be facing each other. Keeping the ribs hugging in. And then you want to have a look to make sure the knees are below your hips, feet are directly behind the knees, and you can gaze in between the legs to double check. It takes time for you to figure out your alignment, so just keep on working on that. Looking forwards now, we'll just do 2 breaths in cat-cow and then go straight up into our downward facing dog. So gaze forwards, you're going to inhale, dip the tummy down into your cow pose, tilting the tailbone up, gazing up so your heart is drawing down towards the floor. And then as you exhale, you lead with the tailbone, pushing the back up, drawing the head in between the shoulders, drawing the belly button into towards the spine. Inhale down last time. Hold and exaggerate the stretch. Exhale, leading with the tailbone, hugging the ribs in, head comes in between the shoulders. Inhale, come into a neutral position now. We're going to take a breath to prepare before we go up into our downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under, preparing yourself. You might find when you get up into downward facing dog that you kind of need to walk your knees ever so slightly back, or walk your feet back, or walk your hands forward. So adjust yourself how you need to. Gazing forwards, take a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale. Now as you inhale, lift the knees up, pushing hard into your hands, and then drawing the hips up towards the ceiling. Tummy's coming towards the top of your thighs, and your head is nice and relaxed in between the shoulders. So keeping the legs bent first of all, that way you can ensure that you're lengthening out your spine before you straightening your legs. One thing that we want to make sure we're avoiding in downward facing dog is tilting the neck and gazing up forwards like this, because that puts a lot of strain on the cervical spine, on the top part of your neck. So we want to make sure it's nice and relaxed to keep that energy flowing. And then making sure we're sending those hips up towards the ceiling. Belly button is drawing in. And then from here, you can maybe start to pedal your legs out. So maybe draw one heel down at a time. So you're feeling this in the back of your legs, in the hamstrings and the calf muscle. Being gentle and noticing how that feels. It's all about progression with yoga. So you work your way, take your time. As you practice more, you'll slowly be able to draw those heels down towards the mat. So I'm going to show you the full expression of this asana. So you'll draw the heels down over time, heels pressing down, legs nice and straight, and I'm creating a nice straight line from my wrists up towards my hips, hips down towards my heels. So creating that upside down V shape.
And it's a really great way to build that strength in your arms, wake up the spine, and over time, this will become a resting pose. So really working with your breath, inhaling, exhaling, lengthening. Keep your breath steady, maybe take a couple of breaths if you can. And then to come out of the posture, just slowly lower yourself back into your tabletop. Nice and slowly, untucking the toes and then bringing yourself back into a kneeling position.
I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you very much. Namaste.